Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Two quarterfinals are done. We know we're going to have a TVT between two Acer teammates. The next two players coming up have many achievements under their belt. One of them holds several titles from MLG Arena events. The other, an MVP for his team, Woongjin Stars. It is my pleasure to bring to the front stage Liquid Taeja and Woongjin Stars SOS. Gentlemen, welcome to the main stage. SOS, I'd like to begin asking you a few questions. Of course, a lot of you saw the run that SOS had deep in WCS Season 1. Came really close to winning. But when you went to face Innovation, it was an 0-4 in the final. Now you're up against Liquid Taeja, who's known to also have a strong TVP. How do you feel heading into this game?
우선 WCS 시즌 1 때 엄청 잘하다가 이신영 선수를 결국에 만나서 떨어졌잖아요. 근데 이번에는 이제 또 다시 윤영서 선수 만나게 됐어요. 근데 윤영서 선수도 TVP, 그러니까 프로토스전을 엄청 잘하는 선수인데 기분이 어떠세요?
윤영서 선수가 이신영 선수 못지않게 토스전 잘하거든요. 그래서 좀 꺼림칙하긴 한데 그래도 이번 기회에 제 테란전을 보여줄 수 있을 것 같아서 한편으로는 괜찮아요.
You know, Taeja, just like Innovation, has amazing TVP, so it is going to be quite difficult, but I think this is a great chance to showcase my own PVT, and he mentioned this earlier, but he says, you know, that he hasn't been able to showcase his PVT, so he's really excited to do that.
I'm not going to lie, I am a huge fan of the creative strategies SOS has been using in PvP and against Zerg players. But you know, in Season 1, your teammate Solkey famously noted that the pressure when you're on the main stage sometimes gets to you. Do you feel like you've been able to get those nerves under control? Will you get to show the full form of PvT that you want to show today?
예전에 그 팀원 솔키 선수가 막 무대 위에서 경기할 때는 약간 긴장이 많이 받아서 약간 최선을 가끔씩 다 못 보여준다는 그런 얘기를 했었는데 김유진 선수도 그렇게 생각하세요?
오늘요? 네. 긴장은 전혀 되지 않고요. 그냥 잘 보여줄 수 있을 것 같아요.
I'm actually not nervous at all, and I think I'll actually do a really great job.
I can't wait. I'm actually curious, did any of you watch the amazing Mass Tempest game that SOS played against Innovation? And now the rest of you are intrigued as well, so hope we get to see a little bit of that this evening. So of course, Mix, we're going to do the swap-a-roo. It's time to ask Liquid Taeja a little bit about the PVT matchup. Taeja, so many people are talking about how difficult the matchup is for Terran. Statistics are showing that Protosses are gaining an edge against Terran players, but you've always seemed to have that special touch that lets you win. What is that secret? What is it that lets you be able to go toe-to-toe with Protosses so well?
많은 사람들이 요즘에 그 프로토스 테란전에 대해서부터 토스가 좀 강하다 이렇게 얘기를 하고 있는데 근데 윤영서 선수는 계속 잘하고 있어요. 그 비법이 뭐예요?
일단 솔직히 토스가 더 세다 생각하고요, 저도. 근데 제가 좀 다른 테란 선수들과 다른 점이라면 유령 컨트롤에 좀 자신감이 많이 있어가지고 그게 좀 다른 것 같아요.
I actually agree with everyone that says Toss is stronger. But if I were to say what differentiates me from other Terran players, I'm very confident in my ghost usage, and I think that's what kind of separates me and makes me better.
Now to follow this up, a lot of Protoss players play slow, defensive, wait till they're at that max army, very much so like Rain, but SOS has shown again and again that he comes up with new creative strategies. Are you feeling prepared to go up against something unorthodox, or do you think you have a read on your opponent?
많은 토스 선수들이 다 똑같이 막 그냥 계속 수비하다가 이따가 이제 200 그 유닛들이 엄청 많아가지고 그때 막 공격하고 그렇게 이기는데 SOS 선수 같은 경우에는 그렇게 그거와 달리 다양한 전략을 많이 쓰거든요. 그거에 대해서 어떻게 생각하세요?
일단 좀 뭐 딱히 생각이 나지 않는데요. 뭐 다양한 걸 많이 쓰시니까 더 잘하신다고 생각해요. 네.
Yeah, I agree. I think SOS definitely does use more unique strategies. So because of that, I think that's what makes him such a great Protoss player. But other than that, I don't have any particular thoughts on what I'm going to do about it.
Well, both these players are feeling confident in their skills. They have a lot of respect for each other. So without any further ado, gentlemen, shake hands and take your booth. Apollo and Artosis, over to you.
Thank you so much, Day 9 and Smix. Apollo, this just keeps getting better and better and better. We have two of the best Terrans in the world already in that round of 4. We could have a third, or we could have the Terran killer himself, SOS.
This is just going to be, I mean, let's just cut to the chase. We are in an honorable position to be watching these games, Artosis. This is some high-level StarCraft, and I am personally very excited to see how these games are going to develop. But talk to me about SOS. You've been following him for a very long time. We haven't seen too much of his Protoss versus Terran recently, but why is he that Protoss versus Terran killing machine?
He is someone who kind of invents all sorts of different styles. Like Day 9 mentioned, he once used a mass Tempest with Templar build. No one had used it before him, no one has used it since, but it pushed innovation to his limits. He's used a lot of different hallucination techniques to fool Terrans. Just everything he does is a bit different. It's his own style, and he really knows how to execute it.
Well, let's see what he can bring to the table, because he is a very talented individual. Taeja is remarkable. Taeja, we know how good he is. We know that he can absolutely annihilate any opponent that is in his way. But it is SOS right here, right now. I'd like to look at this guy, and I do look at this guy, to be honest, as a player that changes the game, that other Protoss players around the world look to understand how to play their own race. He comes up with the things that people follow globally.
SOS is great. The crowd does agree with you, Apollo. You know, he is one of these very innovative players, and truth be told, I'm not sure what he's going to show us here today. He can also play a very standard game, but I feel like there's always going to be at least a little bit of SOS flair.
I'm not too sure when the last game of SOS against Terran actually was broadcasted. It's been a good couple of months, to be honest, since we've seen him do anything crazy. So this should be a learning experience for us all. But he is going up against Taeja, one of the most successful players there is in StarCraft. He's got a lot of accomplishments under his belt. He's traveled the globe playing for Team Liquid, picking up results everywhere. He had a fantastic summer of 2012, winning 3 tournaments in just a couple of months' time. This summer as well, he's already picked up 2 championships. He's been to a semi-final 3 times as well in the same time frame. Absolutely incredible performances, and he's about to, if he wins this best of 3, be in his 4th consecutive semi-final this summer.
It's amazing. Only Jaedong can you hold to such a high standard as of late, but even he has already fallen out of this tournament. In fact, SOS is the one who knocked him down. But Taeja has looked better than ever recently. A lot of people talk about the summer of Taeja last summer. Taeja's twice as good this summer, easily. His games have been nothing short of spectacular, and they bet him against better players than in the summer of Taeja. So this guy, he is ready. I think he's one of the big favorites to actually win this whole tournament as well, as long as he can get past this man, SOS.
And currently, in the player pool that we have left at the DreamHack Open in Bucharest, he is the only DreamHack champion remaining. He could join his teammate, Liquid Hero, who has 2 DreamHack titles already. Can Taeja make DreamHack history and be another DreamHack champion, making Team Liquid a very special team here at the DreamHack Open? And it is time to begin this best of 3 series, because up here in the top right, spawning as the Red Terran, you love his claps, you love this guy, it is Liquid Taeja.
And of course, Apollo, his opponent, maybe not as much of a fan favorite yet. A great Protoss indeed. He is Woongjin sOs.
He really does frontier how to play the game. As basic as that sounds. I remember when Protoss was struggling a lot versus Zerg players at the start of the year, or not really the start of the year, but I'd say a good couple of months back now, they were looking to this guy for answers. He was one of the first players to really play air toss, to build the Void Race, to mix in Zealot Charge and Storm as one. And nowadays, it's almost considered the norm, and this was the guy that invented it.
It's so true. And in fact, you know, this is DreamHack. So a lot of the people watching this, they're real DreamHack fans. They're people who have always watched all the DreamHacks and may not know sOs as much as he plays mostly just Korean leagues. But to put this in perspective for you, sOs is basically the Korean version of Nanoa as far as his play, his skills, his build orders, his innovation.
And can he use that innovation within him, Artosis, as everybody would love a bit of innovation, to be able to pick a game and a series away from Liquid Taeja, who has opened in this game to the map. Whirlwind is a bigger 4-player map here. Players can spawn in any corner of the map. And Taeja has decided to go for a command center first, a macro-oriented playstyle, just expecting most likely the same from his opponent, and as we can see.
That's a very fast expansion from sOs. That's actually a custom-tailored build that he uses quite often, where he gets the gas and the gateway before the Nexus, but not the cybernetics core, to just get it out a little bit quicker. A really great and safe build to use on Whirlwind.
sOs, of course, respecting Liquid Taeja's dominance when it comes to this matchup, and we've seen Taeja. Taeja was also one of the first players that we were stunned by the amount of scans that he was using to find observers. He was an observer slaughter for a long time. Adabisi had to run and hide for a long time, Artosis. And then not only that, but his control late game. Ghosts and Vikings together. At the time that Taeja was dominating, we hadn't seen such control, such ability to snipe and bring able to just make the Protoss army melt so easily.
You're so right. Some of these Protosses, when they get up to a good High Templar Colossus count with a good 4 or 5 bases, they seem unbeatable for Terrans. It's almost just agreed upon that it's imbalanced. But when you get a player like Taeja who, as he says in his own words, has such great ghost control, you can use those late game compositions such as Ghost, Viking, and whittle the Protoss down over time. So Taeja can take the game in the early game, the mid game, or even the supreme late game that so many Terrans are afraid of.
And as we can see, Taeja's already looking in that direction as he's decided to play a relatively greedy opening here by going command center first, then double barracks right behind it, and then throwing down the 3rd command center, really looking to fuel his economy. Unfortunately for sOs, he scouted in the wrong directions here.
Well,
he's going to use the mothership core to try to get some info.
I don't know if he's going to get enough. He might, though. Look at this angle he's going in from. Very nice by sOs. Kind of skirting in, seeing what's going on. The Marines haven't spotted him quite yet. He doesn't want to lose this.
And he does pick up the scout there. Nice scout from
Very well done.
But what does... okay, so imagine you're in sOS's shoes right now. You're sending the mothership core. You've just now seen this very early 3rd command center. And this usually works really well for Terran players when it's unscouted. But this time sOs has got a lot of information really early on. What does he do with this information, and how does he play this game from here?
Well, you know, a lot of times a Protoss will just take a 3rd base, but as soon as he saw it, Apollo, 2 more gases went up, and a sentry started to be made. My guess is we could see an Immortal push coming out from sOs. If he doesn't want to do something like that, then it's going to be extremely gas heavy, maybe a very fast double forge. But instead, super fast Colossus. And this is actually a very old counter to fast 3 command center. In fact, something that Taeja should be used to, as Hero was one of the famous players who really made this build something great back in the day.
Well, Taeja did scan the main base, and he really didn't get too much information at all. He saw nothing, to be honest. And now with the robotic spear on the way, 2 gateways. coming in here as well. Do you think this is going to be a big attack then off 2 bases from SOS?
Absolutely. I cannot imagine it being anything else. He's going to want to get, if he can, 4 sentries, at least 2 Colossus with range, perhaps a 3rd, and then just warp in a ton of Stalkers and go try to kill his opponent. Because by then, the starport is so late with a build like what Taeja is using that it's going to be extremely hard to have Medivacs and Vikings out.
Well, there's a Marine on the other side of the map that's walked up to the natural of his opponent somehow.
This is actually a big moment for Taeja.
And he's seen the robotics bay in a very, very weird location. And Taeja's a smart guy. He's going to say, why the hell is it there? That's clearly to avoid a scan.
That's right, and it wasn't just there, Apollo, it was upgrading, and you never upgrade Thermalance so quickly. What does he do here, though? Obviously, he's going to produce as many units as possible. Does he add a second starport, try to get some extra Vikings out? It's a hard choice. This is a very sharp attack that's going to be hard to stop.
And SOS sees the second bunker, which Taeja's put down because, as you said, he's seen this attack coming. Can Taeja, with multiple bunkers, defend against this? He may not have the Viking count initially, but he has thrown down a second starport immediately too. Viking production begins even before Medivacs here.
Yeah.
Going straight towards it.
You can't count on Medivacs in this situation. You know, there's just... every advantage right now is going towards SOS except for the economy. So he's going to have to skip those Medivacs. He's going to have to get Vikings out as quickly as possible. He actually misses the extra gates. But this attack is coming, Apollo.
Yeah, this attack is coming. Extra bunkers have been planted here. Can Taeja make the hold? Because with a hold, with 3 command centers, double engineering bay, double starports coming down, Taeja would be in one of the best situations he could ever hope for against SOS in map number 1. But there's the pylon, there's the scout. He knows it's coming.
Man. This is do or die, Apollo. SOS has to kill Taeja here. Taeja has to hold her. This game is over. Here we go. Force fields going down, not letting him repair those bunkers, and the Colossus dealing huge amounts of damage.
Is this going to be broken, though? The Colossus do remain. The Mothership core has gone for now, but the 2 Colossus at the back of this army do survive, and SOS is hammering forward. Another bunker's going to be broken down, but 3 Vikings are there. Is SOS going to be able to do it? He's hammering in autosis. 4 Vikings around now.
Oh, he almost loses that one Colossus, pulls it back in the nick of time. The other Colossus does go down. Just Stalkers and 1 Colossus left. No energy on this sentry. I don't know if he's going to be able to actually break through.
The last Colossus is down, and Taeja brings down the big power force of this army. And with just Stalkers left and 1-1 now completed for the majority of these units, this is looking pretty good for Taeja. If he can squeeze out a couple of Medivacs, this game may be over.
SOS in so much trouble. He knows he has almost no chance left. Warping as many units as he possibly can, microing these Stalkers to the best of his ability, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough, Apollo. It looks like Taeja has fended off the all-in.
What a fantastic game here from Team Liquid's Taeja, pushing SOS all the way back, and he is now without forges, he's without any tech, he's without hardly any economy compared to Taeja, who is set up in a brilliant position. He went for a greedy build. SOS tried to punish it, and as we can just see, very simply, it did not work. And Taeja is just steamrolling towards map number 1 victory.
He is. It's such a great spot for him, but let's look at what SOS has. Can he make this comeback? Well, 45 probes against 36 SCVs, so he did a good job reducing that count a bit. 2-2 didn't get started for Taeja. Of course, it couldn't. He had to spend his gas and minerals on other things. Well, you know, there's some good tech out as well for SOS. He is trying to get charged, get his forges going, getting a Dark Shrine going. He still has a little bit of a shot, but as you say, Apollo, this is a big deal for Taeja. I like his position a lot more.
Well, the Dark Shrine has been planted down here by SOS. Zealot charge and Immortal production has begun. He's looking for a different way to get back into this game. If DTs will be able to get into the mineral lines to hurt that economy a little bit more, if he was able to slow Taeja down, maybe he could catch up with his upgrades here. But with the armory just now starting, 2-2 is quite a way away from beginning here for Taeja.
And, you know, Taeja actually taking his 3rd base already, even though his SCV count is a little bit low. It's caught up quite quickly. He is up to 47 SCVs against those 47 probes already. So he's doing a great job with this economy. That makes it really scary for SOS. You know, he's going to have to get a little bit lucky to continue this comeback.
What a scan. It actually picks up the Dark Shrine there at the north. It's within the range of the scan. Turrets begin immediately. And that option for SOS to try to bring down the economy and get back into this game with a different angle is not really going to work here, as turrets begin everywhere. And Taeja sees that his opponent does not have a third base while he is mining from his now.
Well, you know, we also have 2-2 on the way for Taeja. That scares me even more than the DTs not working at this point, Apollo. It's going to be really, really difficult to win any battles when your opponent is going to be, 2-3 upgrades up the entire time.
Well, SOS is going for another attack. If the first one didn't work, this is his second plan. A Zealot charge, there's +1 armor on these units as well, but there's a lot of units here for Taeja. They're just spread around in many different angles. He's got no splash damage here to really deal with this Bioforce. And Taeja, this will be the last attack. If this does not work, then this is it. This is 100% over for SOS.
He does have 22 Zealots right now. It's a pretty good number. 5 DTs as well. Here we go. Charging forward. A nice scan coming down from Taeja. Stop DTs. Kiting back a bit. More Zealots coming in from the side. I don't know if he can actually break through here, though.
And Taeja continues to reinforce. More Medivacs join this. The Zealot count was at 22. It's only at about 6 right now. That dropped incredibly fast. Another Archon has been more from these DTs. And the Bio, it's healed up again, and it's going to stim, it's going to take a fight here, and Taeja's just going straight for it here. He wants this map number 1. The DTs try to get some damage done. The scan goes down to take them off, and well, looky here, Autosis. This looks like game number 1 goes to Team Liquid's Taeja.
Fantastic play by Taeja. That was a pretty miraculous hold, Apollo. We certainly have to give a lot of credit to that Magellan Marine that circumnavigated all of Whirlwind and somehow scouted the crazy all-in that came up.
Well, Taeja continues his strong performances at DreamHack, continues his strong performances this summer, and picks up map number 1 against SOS. With SOS competing in the Season 1 finals, we found a weakness within his play. Not within his play, but within himself. His mentality hurt him a lot. He broke down, he let innovation walk over him. He needs to be strong going into this next map, otherwise we will have 3 Terran players in the top 4.
It's something that's looking more and more likely as Taeja is just playing fantastically, but the build that SOS chose, he chose it instantly. He actually executed it very well. But it was all about that one Marine that snuck by his Stalkers, his Mothership Core, his Sentries, everything, to scout that upgrading robotics bay. If he hadn't scouted that, SOS takes game number 1 for sure.
Well, going into this next map now then, Akalon Wastes. Of course, we do have SOS. Unfortunately, Trailing will need to win this next map. What does he need to do and concentrate on to tie this series up to go to map number 3, where he has a chance to be able to pick up this series win?
I think he just plays his game again, Apollo. SOS, he has a lot of strategies up his sleeve. He actually chose a great one that time. A scout got past him. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. Sometimes your all-in gets scouted a little bit too early, and then it fails. Not saying he should all-in here, but he needs to believe in himself because he is a Protoss good enough to take out Taeja.
Well, Taeja, of course, looking great in map number 1. Got a little bit fortunate with that scout, as you mentioned. But let's find out what's going to happen here as we load into map number 2 of this best of 3. Who is going to move on? Will it be Taeja with a 2-0? Will SOS make the comeback?
Starting here in the bottom right of this map, make some noise for Liquid Taeja.
And up here, spawning as the blue Protoss. Needs this win. He plays with Wunging Stars. It is SOS.
Very excited, Apollo. What is SOS going to choose to do? I feel like with Taeja, it's going to be pretty standard. You know, he's going to get into a macro game and just kind of feel it out, how to kill SOS or stop what SOS is going to do. But with SOS, he's like a box of chocolates, Apollo. You never know which build order he's going to do.
It's very wise words from a from a wise man, Autosis.
Indeed.
Liquid Taeja has decided to change his build up a little bit here, going for a barracks first. And on a map like this, there's definitely a lot of things and to choose from that box of chocolates, a lot of builds to be able to beat a command center first if he was to repeat the same opening that he did previously. So he has decided to open up a little bit more conservative, but open up in a very similar manner by the looks of it. Well, actually, with the command center waypointed to the gas, he is going to take a 15 refinery here to start to mine up a little bit. It will still have a decently timed command center, but he also has a couple of other options to branch away from.
You know, normally when I see that 15 gas, I'm always thinking that we're going to be seeing a factory after the command. So we'll see what he wants to do with that. This is not a bad map to open up like that on if you want to do a mine drop or something of the sort. There's a lot of surface area in that main base. There's a lot of different angles that you can come in from and possibly do some damage.
All right, well, Taeja is going to move to the other side of the map with his SCV here, and probably just going to have a quick look inside his opponent's base, check out if there's double gas, if there's not, if there's a Nexus down earlier on or not, to kind of build a bit of a setup to what he's playing up against, because currently he has no idea what's going on, and he is going to go straight towards that natural location of where the engineering bay could get planted down here, but...
Oh! Gets it down, and he got the cancel on the Zealot. Just the very last second. Very smooth there by SOS.
So from this location out, the reactor's about to be completed, and there are 2 Marines out. SOS has no idea what he's playing against. He decided not to scout in this game. Surely that must impact his decision-making. If not, it doesn't impact it. Then does he already have a plan? Is he not looking to react to what his opponent's doing? He's got no information at all.
Well, you know, he doesn't indeed, but that doesn't normally stop Protoss players. A lot of Protoss players will just choose their build and execute because there are so many dangerous ones. And he does get a quick robo, which kind of fills in against everything.
Where do you think he'll be branching away from this robotics facility here? I mean, I guess there are, you know, multiple ways to go, whether it be a faster forge to get the upgrades going to offer the defense of cannons if there was to be any factory play, which in the regard there is. Does he add on extra gateways nice and early?
Well, you know, I would actually like to see a fast forge here and for him to go into more of a macro game. This is Aklon Waste. It's a map that's very easy to get 3 and then 4 bases on against Terranus Protoss. And I feel like he should play to the strengths of the map in that way. Be a greedy player. Get as much ahead in the early game as you possibly can with upgrades, with tech, with everything, but an Immortal. It looks like we're going to see an Immortal push.
There's Marines in the middle of the map here doing a little bit of damage to the Stalker, and they're going to move across the other side of the map. So an Immortal attack is incoming. Is Taeja going to be fortunate enough to try to find out how this works? Is he going to get a scan? To be honest, in the last game, his scans were really good. They were very, very good.
They certainly were, but I don't think he needs a scan because he's going to have a Hellion. He's basically getting 4 Hellions. He has a bunch of Marines. He's getting medevacs, and that is such a powerful set of units against 1 gateway. Hellions do very well when you just go gateway robo with no additional gates.
Well, Photon Overcharge will have to be used here. There's 2 Stalkers and Immortal. The Immortal may even be called to defend here, and that will reveal the strategy. But remember, through going for this factory, Stim is delayed. It makes the Immortal attack much, much stronger than it would be usually here. But the Hellions are going onto these Stalkers. The Immortal will get revealed here. And now Taeja's like, hold on a minute.
Well, now he knows exactly what's going on. Kind of a funny game. You normally don't see these 2 builds line up against each other. But it looks like SOS getting ready for the attack. 3 more gateways on the way. A proxy pylon going up. And it looks like that medevac is going for a counter drop, which is going to be very hard to defend with all his units across the map.
Well, right now, the bunker's being put down. Stim has only just started. This is a crucial upgrade to make sure his Marines that he's going to make are good. But as you said, now SOS needs to balance defense with his attack because there's 8 Marines and he's on the other side of the map. Is he just going to forget about it?
It's a hard decision. He knows that with all this tech, Taeja is not quite ready yet to deal with this.
And
oh my
Hellions
god,
as well,
the Hellions
in the middle of the
counterattack. We might actually turn into some really weird looking base trade scenario here, Apollo.
Well, the Hellions are getting dropped with the Marines here. SOS calls the evacuation on the natural. The probes are there with the Stalkers, but 6 odd Hellions and a bunch of Marines. There is nothing at home for SOS to deal with. But like you said, on the other side, there isn't anything for Taeja. The bunker's naked. There's 3 bunkers. There's nothing here. What the hell is going on, and how does this shape up?
A bunch of empty bunkers, but he does have that Nexus cannon, so that actually favors SOS in some certain ways. He knocks down all these bunkers over here. The SCV's coming out. He'll be able to deal with these rather easily, but that stem's still just over halfway done.
There's a Widow Mine on the high ground over the other side, and that will be used very smartly in the defense. Oh,
ooh,
one
nice
stalker down.
Well, he's going to bust through everything very quickly here. In the meantime, probably just going to warping units at home. You know, do as much damage as you can with this little group of units and try to block everything else with your Stalker Warpins.
I don't know which way this game is going at this moment. I mean, both of these players are in a very peculiar position. The SCVs are trying to get a full surround here. There's 2 Marines and a Marauder, a couple of mines as well that have just popped out.
Well, he's actually doing a great job with these SCVs trying to surround, but losing a lot of SCVs right now. We're down to just 15, but in the meantime, these Hellions going into the main base of SOS. He pulls the probes away, not mining for a moment. Betrayal. Hero lagging in a Taeja game. All right, we have all these Stalkers still holding him back a little bit. A lot of Widow Mines there at the front. Looks like everything has been cleaned up from the Protoss force that was attacking. Oh my God, whoa. That was a good volley.
That's a lot of probes going down there, Autosis.
That was a lot of probes going down. We're down to 21 probes against 17 SCVs. Wow.
Well, this is an interesting spot here, Autosis, as this is near towards the end of this game. And this has been quite a heated series as well.
This is a crazy situation, Apollo. Both of them have lost so many miners. It almost went better for SOS for a long time there until that last volley from the Hellions. And he lost a lot of probes. It's a lot closer now, especially since there's mules out.
Well, the game is counting back down, so we will jump into it immediately here to get the conclusion of this map. Remember, Taeja is currently leading this game 1-0. With one more win, he would win this. So we can jump into this game immediately here. And we are back in, and the game continues on.
Well, here we are. We'll be back in that game in just a second. And so let's take a look where this game is at, Apollo. It's 19 SCVs at 22 probes, but there's mules out. So economically speaking, you have to give an edge to Taeja. No real splash damage, only 5 Stalkers out as units. I have to say, I feel like Taeja is in a lead here.
Well, with that lead, he also has a 3rd command center coming in, which is going to push his economy very, very strong here. He's got his stim down. He's about to get some medivacs into this game, I'm sure, as well. But from this position, this was a bit of a weird game, and it's funny how it stabilized. Where does SOS go from this position? Does he just play it out long now? Do we see that Forge come in, as you mentioned earlier on? Does he... I mean, what kind of angle does he have to take?
It's a very hard choice to make here, Apollo, but I think what he does is spends chrono boosts on probes, tries to catch up in that regard, and tries to crush any attack that's incoming. The thing is, can he do that?
This attack is strong. Remember the stim, there's 4 Marauders, a bunch of Marines, there's Widow Mines as well as 2 Medivacs. There's only a handful of Stalkers here.
His Mothership Core does not have enough energy either. This could be a death blow, in fact. In fact, Apollo... I think Taeja's about to do it.
Well, Taeja stims forward here. Just a handful of Stalkers left, and SOS is in trouble. And well, Liquid Taeja takes the 2-0 and is in the semifinals.
Taeja going up to another round of 4. This guy is just unstoppable, Paul. Make some noise for Liquid Taeja.
Can Taeja get another DreamHack tournament under his belt? This one would be the biggest one, of course. DreamHack Open Bucharest 2013. The playlist is insane, but so is Taeja at the moment.
Taeja, you have to look at him as a favorite to take the whole tournament. Apollo, his Terran versus Terran is stellar. His Terran versus Zerg as well, and those are the only 2 matches that could possibly be left for him.
All right, so let's go ahead with Taeja and Smix for a winner's interview.
Guys, I am here with Taeja after he took out SOS 2-0. Before I conduct this interview, can we all just... Now, the first question I want to ask is, Taeja had phenomenal scouting in both games. He was able to discern exactly what sOs was going to do. You know, in the first game, we saw that sOs went for a Colossus all-in, and in the second game, he went for an Immortal all-in. But both times, because of Taeja's superb scouting, he was able to prepare accordingly and defend very well. So I just want to ask him about that. 두 경기 둘 다 스카우팅을 엄청 꼼꼼하게 해가지고 첫 경기는 뭐 거친 올인이었고 두 번째 경기는 불멸자 올인이었는데 스카우팅을 너무 잘해가지고 그래서 수비를 엄청 잘했어요. 그거에 대해서 좀 얘기해 주세요. 무슨 생각을 하면서 그렇게 했는지.
일단 뭔가 좀 올인류 비슷한 게 올 거라고 생각해가지고 좀 많이 꼼꼼하게 정찰했는데 그것 때문에 이기게 된 것 같아요. 네.
Yeah, I just had this feeling that some sort of an all-in type thing would happen both games. So because of that, I tried to be a little more tedious about my scouting, and I think that's the reason why I was able to win both games. Now, you know, he's already made the semis now, and I just want to see how he feels about that. 이제 4강 진출을 했어요. 그거에 대해서 기분이 어떠세요? 되게 웃음을 못 참으시는 것 같은데.
일단 굉장히 기분 좋고요. 근데 기분이 좋긴 하지만 어제 밤 늦게까지 팀 리그를 하는 바람에 잠을 많이 못 자가지고 지금 많이 피곤한 상태예요. 네.
So I asked him how he feels, and because I noticed that he can't keep his smiles in, like he just keeps smiling, and he said, I am extremely happy, but unfortunately last night, because you know the SC2 League finals went so late into the night, I wasn't able to get as much sleep as I would have liked, so I'm actually a bit tired, so that's the only thing that's worrying me. Well, I just want to see who is he really looking forward to playing in the finals? 이제 결승까지 가게 된다면 누구랑 만나고 싶으세요?
성원 형이나 이신영 선수 둘 다 만나고 싶어요. 네.
I want to play either MMA or Innovation, and I guess that's a testament to how much confidence he has in his TVT. Everybody give it up again, once again for Taeja. Guys, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break, but stay tuned and we'll be back with more games.
Hey gamers, Blake and Benny here. Benny, I don't have to tell you that war hurts, and on the imaginary battlefield with orcs and mages, finger fatigue can be fatal.
Luckily, my keyboard has sweet flame decals.
That's the right attitude, Benny.
Yeah, it is.
Wrong hardware.
Oh.
Enter the Logitech G510S with 18 programmable G keys times 3 modes for a total of 54 higher functions. Why press 7 keys when you can press 1? We'll race to find out who can execute these key commands quicker.
You are so going down.
First, I'm just gonna activate the shock collars.
Shock collars? You told me this was an elfish friendship amulet.
I told you many things. Let's go.
Prepare to be burned.
I forgot to tell you, I already programmed my G keys. Time to regulate.
No, I got this. Just fingers need to move a little. Just a little bit quicker, and I could do.
The Logitech G510S with 18 programmable G keys. No more finger fatigue, right, Benny?
Ow. All I taste is burning.
No, I don't think esports is getting too corporate.
Oh my God, Huck! Oh,
Our fan base has definitely grown. But I try to keep a low profile. I definitely don't let it get to me. Is that your real name? Do you know who I am? But of course, I can't speak for everyone. I mean, I'm still me. I'm humble. I'm down to earth. I just get it. I could get used to this. A little higher? There you go. You can ask me anything. I mean, people like working with me. I'm low maintenance. I told you, Colin, when we were on the G6, I wanted the same one Idra had, but red.
Wait, what?
Red, Colin, red.
Oh, yeah.
Kingston HyperX is one of the sponsors of Team EG. One of the best. We like to have fun. Thanks. So, contractually, I'm obligated to do some endorsements, but, you know, trust me, I don't enjoy them.
Excuse me, Monsieur Loranger, your car has arrived.
Is it red?
Yes, sir.
Are we good? Can I get you to wrap this up?
Of course.
Thanks.